Salutations, my name is Summer and this is Sterling Reads, and I'm battling sinus right now. Also, I'm in my mom's space and I was trying to find light and it's just not happening today. So this is not my style. It's not my mom. When she moved in, she kind of took care of this room, like she took over this room, and it has a lot of her breakable stuff in it that my cats are not allowed in here. If you go back to when I first started BookTube, it's been almost 5 years ago, I was always in this room. This was actually the room that I always filmed in. I had my bookshelves behind me and my cats were coming and going. But yeah, about 3 years ago, Mom moved in and took over this room, which is fine because I have plenty of space upstairs. I just like to be in other spaces sometimes. That's why I'm in a different spot and with breakable stuff behind me. Because most of you who know me, they'll be like, oh my gosh, a cat could just like jump on that. Yeah, they would do that. So anyway, I want to talk about some things that I've been reading and my plans for the TBR for June. It's going a little differently than what I had thought it would be. But anyway, a book I haven't really talked about that I read a couple weeks ago is Mary Wiggins by Mary Monroe. And this was, I don't think I ever would have really picked this book up. My library book club they chose it. I really enjoyed it. It's about Maggie who marries Hubert. They were friends from a young age. And it's their life. And I have to tell you, if you decide to pick this up, it is a trilogy and it takes about till chapter 30 before it starts to get really good. And then all kinds of things happen that I could see like, oh, you would want this to happen, but it's very surprising what does happen. So I read this. The second book, Empty Vows, I listened to, and now I am listening to the third book on Hoopla, and it's called Love, Honor, Betray, and I'm like 60% through it. And so I enjoyed this enough to continue on with it, and I'm glad that they chose it because I don't think I would have picked it up on my own, especially because I have so many books and so many other things that I plan to read. Also, sorry about the car noise. I am in the very front of the house today, but I don't plan to film here regularly. Okay, so you guys who have watched my videos know that I am reading Blackfire by Sonni Cooper. This is very good. Something surprising has happened. Spock has been arrested, and he's so like honest. When asked like, did you do this, which is illegal, did you do this, he has to say yes, even though I feel like they should know there's exceptions, there's reasons why Spock would do things. But yeah, he's just been arrested and is going on trial, and I'm a little over halfway. Very good. Something else that I'm reading, and I want to tell you why it's taking me so long to finish this. This is A Time of Terror by Allan W. Eckert. This is about a flood, an unbelievable flood that happened in 1913 in Dayton, Ohio. The print is huge. It's very easy to read. Like I said, there's some very simple mistakes in here when it comes to like spelling and punctuation. But this is devastating. And it's going by the time. Like, what time is it on this day that this happened, where the 3 levees break? And it's unbelievable. When you talk about how quickly things can happen, and plus it's just so scary. And now we're hearing, it's easier for us to hear about what's going on in the world. It's constant, like tornadoes, floods. But I had marked it. Yeah, so here it says, it was just about then that the inconceivable happened. A great selection of levee 350 feet long and 26 feet deep at the head of Taylor Street east of the downtown district suddenly gave way and a fantastic volume of water thundered into the streets. 350 long, 26 feet deep. I mean, think about what that would do to your house. So, and this is like a city. Anyway, I have to constantly stop. I stopped last night because I read just one little section. Like each time is just a short little snippet of what happened to somebody else. And there was a boy, they saw a boy riding a horse, a young boy riding a horse, and just trying to hang on, and the horse is trying to keep its head above water, and it gets caught in the V of a tree. And you guys, if you know water, if you've been in fast moving water, you can't get unstuck. The boy can't get his horse unstuck. So he climbs off the horse, is trying to keep the horse's head above water, and he has to get like higher and higher in the tree. And of course, his horse, who he loves, dies. And he has to sit there and watch it. And they see him bury his face in his hands. And I was like crying, and I had to stop reading. I like set it aside, start reading something else that won't make me feel so horrible. Something else I have picked up that I've been reading is The Vanishing Kind by Henderson. So this is about Alex, who is a wildlife biologist, and she's always going to someplace. This is maybe 4 or 5 in the series. I want to say it's 4. But in each book, which I have heard, I've had comments about people hating this series, hating the character. It is unbelievable, like the things that happen, right? You know, like every negative thing with how people can be hateful and greedy. Those are the people that's going to be in this book that Alex has to come across. I mean, it's just how it is. Anyway, she is in New Mexico looking for jaguars. I didn't know. So I'm not that great about my big cats. I can tell you what a cheetah looks like, and a tiger and a lion, a panther. Leopard and jaguar, to me in my head, are the same thing. So then I had to go and look up about jaguars, which are bigger than leopards. Their spots are bigger, and on the inside they have black spots. It's interesting. You should look it up and to see the differences. And jaguars are bigger. They don't really have any predators, I think, besides humans. There was something in here interesting too. I think I might have marked it. I don't know. So to draw in big cats, you know what they use? Possession. Calvin Klein possession cologne. I don't use any kind of perfumes or anything, but could you imagine, and I don't go to zoos, but could you imagine people going to the zoo and wearing Calvin Klein cologne, and all the big cats like losing their minds because they're hearing that or smelling that? Anyway, I'm hearing, which I don't know if it's my cats or if it's my mom in the foyer, but I don't know. Anyway, so something else I'm reading this on my Kindle. This is The Furies by John Jakes. I started this the beginning of the month, and I'm still not very far. I think I'm only on chapter 6. I'm on page 143, but like I said, I'm reading this on my Kindle. So, and it starts, I think I'm just going to wait to talk about this when I might just go and talk about the whole series, since this is like the 4th book this is the 4th book in the Kent. There's 8 in the Kent Family Chronicles, and it's just fantastic. But there's so much that goes on, and we're following a family line, and we're actually going to her cousin now, who I didn't know if he was alive or dead, because we usually just follow one family member, but in the last book we followed 2, and so now we're following those 2 brothers, their children. They each have one surviving child. So anyway, very good, very good. And she was in Mexico. Well, she was in Texas and then had to go to Mexico because this is during the war. One of the many wars that we've had in America. Okay, so those are things that I have been reading. If we're talking about my TBR for June, I did not plan on reading The Grapes of Wrath with everybody. I'm still not going to read with everybody that's reading it, but it's one of my favorite books. It's actually one of my all-time favorite books, and it's been a while since I've read it, and I thought, since everybody's reading it right now and it is an all-time favorite, I should reread it so I can have everything fresh in my mind, so that when people say it's a bad book, I can argue and I'll have everything fresh to argue about. Like, wait a second, what about this? You know, I don't think there's going to be very many people who dislike it, but who knows, right? Everybody likes what they like. But so I am going to be reading The Grapes of Wrath. I'm reading on my own time. I really do not do well with group reads. I do better with buddy reads, like one-on-one or a couple people. I'm still not the best. One-on-one, I'm pretty good. But you get a couple people and then it's like, oh, I don't know this. I don't want to say anything to like spoil something. And but if it's one-on-one, I feel like I do pretty well. But group reads, I just retreat. And then I think, oh, I'll talk about the end. And then it takes so long for everybody to get through to do it. Or they do it really fast and I don't have time. And I don't know, do you guys have that trouble with group reads? How do you feel about it? Because I love the idea of reading. I love hearing people's thoughts about books. Like the book club is Monday, and so I'm going to enjoy talking to everybody about the book. But I don't know. Maybe it's how Voxer works too. I don't know. I like Voxer for messages from people. So since I'm rereading The Grapes of Wrath, I decided I want to do reading The Grapes of Wrath by Susan Shillinglaw. I got this I didn't realize I got this at a library book sale this spring. So, was it last month or the month before? I think it was March. Anyway, I'm looking forward to reading it and then seeing her thoughts on what she liked about it, what was going on in her life when she was reading it. So the rest of the books, I have 2 library books that I want to get to. I started Midnight by Sister Soulja. I finished The Coldest Winter Ever by her and loved it. And so this is kind of like the second book. Maybe it's the second book that she wrote after The Coldest Winter Ever. But it's about Midnight, who is in that book. It's actually her Winter's love interest. But he doesn't seem that interested in her, really. I don't know. But this is him starting out when he was young, learning about his life and family and everything. And then the other book I want to read that's from the library, which is going to be due back soon, but it's not very long, is Unsettling Truths by Mark Charles and, I don't know how to pronounce this, Soong-Chan. I'm sorry, don't know how to pronounce that second name there. But those are 2 library books that I want to read. And that second one, The Unselling Truths, I believe it's about things that were told in history when we were younger. Like, I'm 46, so I was told Christopher Columbus was wonderful, right? And then when I got to be about a teenager, I heard other things. And then you have your own thoughts about, and you experience things, and you see things, and you're like, oh, yeah, he probably wasn't so great. Anyway, so The Complete Stories of Father Brown, I started to read The Innocent. Isn't it called The Innocents of Father Brown? Well, the first story was The Blue Cross. And I started to read that one, and I almost got that finished, and then I thought, oh, I'll listen to it. Oh, my cats are wrestling around. It's the innocence of Father Brown. Anyway, I thought I'd listen to it on Hoopla, and I fell asleep every single time I fell asleep. So I cannot listen to it. I have to read it. So I'm hoping to get back to this and at least read a couple of the different stories in that. Another one that I picked up, and I only read a couple pages, is Godric. Yeah, I only read 8 pages. It's by Frederick Buechner. Anyway, I can't really tell you much about what this is about. It's about Godric. So his life, I guess. Anyway, one other thing. I'm not doing June on the Range, but I started rereading this a while ago. I've read this like twice before. I started rereading this last year, Comanche Moon by Larry McMurtry, and I've read the whole series. But it was so violent that I stopped reading it and set it aside. Oh, and this bookmark was given to me by Scott and Becky Bryant a long time ago. So anyway, I need to go see about who's wrestling. I know who it is. It's Rollo and Sterling. So I need to go see what they're doing. Anyway, please let me know what you plan to read for June. If you're going to be doing any read-alongs, how do you feel about read-alongs, group read-alongs, or buddy reads? Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful June, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.